Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Dustin. Dean is currently sick, so he's not partaking in this interview, which he wanted to be here, and I wanted him to be here. But, you can't help it when someone falls ill. So it's all wish him the best. But joining us today is the dad in the one movie that literally gave me nightmares for a week and a half straight. And movies do not do that often with me at all. So we're here with Ross Paul to kind of talk about what was in that house. We have Ross Paul from SKINAMARINK. Ross, how you doing?
I am doing good. How about you?
I'm tired, but I'm living life and I love what I do. So no complaints there, man.
Burning the candles at both ends, or
Yeah, a little bit, but I can't really complain too much. I got my day job that I do, and then I got this one, and obviously I would 100% prefer to be doing this full time and making a profit. But I mean, that's just not how it goes when you start doing a podcast for 2 years. You gotta wait a little bit. But it's awesome
yeah.
having you on, man. It's awesome.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here. Appreciate it. Um, yeah, whatever you want to ask, I'm open to anything. Oh, and on behalf of Kyle and myself, we apologize for the nightmares and the
No,
not going to sleep, everyone.
there is no apologizing. This is the one thing that I always talk about with friends or even Dean or anybody else who comes on the show is I love horror because I love how uncomfortable it can make me feel. How it can give you like that adrenaline rush, and then it will linger for days if it's the right movie. If you watch something and it hits that spot, I watch for that, and this movie delivered on everything. I know it's a movie that's been mixed. Some people like it, they don't like it. It doesn't,
Yeah.
affect them or affects them a lot like it did with me. And I think it's because I have other connections that made me feel the way I felt for it. For
Right.
people who don't have, kids or someone close to them who's younger, who is, essentially defenseless, and they can't do much on their own without, someone there to help them. Uh, it won't affect them that much, but considering I have a now 5-year-old son who was 4 at the time that I saw this film, um,
Probably made
Lucas
you think of.
definitely, who played Kevin, had his role hit me a lot with the things that happened to him. But go ahead, Ross. You were saying something.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, it probably made you think of him. And before we get into that, the reason why I apologize is it's funny because I told Kyle how it affected me at the after party, like just after the premiere, and he apologized. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Ross." I'm like, "Don't apologize, man. That's a testament to your work, Like,
Yeah,
don't apologize for producing something awesome."
yeah.
So,
I want to see more from Kyle. I mean, I went to go see. Well, I watched the short that he made. It was Heck right before he did it, so it was pretty much him toying around with it and then going full blown with it. And I love both of the shorts. The short didn't affect me as much
mhm.
because I think it's because I watched it. I watched it after I saw Skinamarink, which I think I probably should have watched Heck and then Skinamarink. But I'm glad that I saw this one first because of how much it affected me.
I saw both. The Heck didn't bother me at all. I think it's because with Skinamarink, you it's like you're just drawn in more.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, into the atmosphere and what's going on. Whereas with Heck, I didn't have time to really be drawn into it or attached to it, if that makes sense.
yeah, because you're so attached to the kids,
Yeah,
Kevin and Kylie, and then you have the parent, you, who we see you on screen, we hear you on the phone. You're not in the movie that much, but when
no,
you are there, and the moments that happen that surround you are terrifying. And I want to get into all of that before we go full blown into Skinamarink. Why don't you let everybody who's listening know what you were doing leading up to this? Were you always into acting? Or was it something you always wanted to do? Like, where did it kind of all begin for you, Ross?
I always have trouble with this question because my life is I took the path least traveled in life. I zigzagged a lot because I first wanted to be in a heavy metal band, so that was my
Hell
first.
yeah, man. Hell yeah.
I did do that for a while in Ontario. I'm originally from Nova Scotia on the East Coast, by
Oh,
the way.
okay.
That's where I started, and I moved to Niagara Falls, and that's where I did the band thing. And I did always want to act as well. Like I did do a little bit of acting, but it wasn't until the band broke up and the relationship ended that's when I moved back home, and I basically had to start over. Like everything I was doing in Niagara Falls, Ontario, like I had all this stuff on the go. I was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing with my life, and then it all just ended, like literally just domino.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
I started over, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go for acting, and I just started searching for open casting calls in the paper and online. I searched everywhere. I was like, okay, how do I get into acting? I literally Googled what's the quickest way just jump into acting.
Yeah.
And a lot of the advice I got was to just do it. And so basically just look for any background work, right? Because what's the number one thing that gets you hired on any job? Experience.
Experience. Yeah. It's always experience.
Experience always wins. So I knew I had to get set experience.
Yeah.
What does this? I didn't even know what a set looked like. But I answered a call in the. I think it was in the paper. Anyways, my first real set experience was Moby Dick. It was starring Ethan Hawke, Gillian Anderson, Billy Boyd, which is one of the Hobbits. He's actually really that short. Well, he's not as size of a hobbit, but he's shorter than me, and I'm not very tall. Like I'm only 5'6", so he must have been 5 feet right on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was short. I was like, wow, he really is a hobbit. And Charlie Cox, that plays Daredevil, he was in that. Ethan Hawke actually said hi to me. He said,
That's
"Hey, how's it
awesome.
going?"
Wow.
And
I've seen this
"Yeah,
movie too. I've
that?
definitely seen Moby Dick, so I'm going to have to go rewatch it now, see if I can spot you.
It was a mini series, so I think.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't even. Oh yeah, I got it on DVD. Of course, I had to buy the DVD because I had to look for myself because I was in the background. So that's when that was my first background experience. It was a big set, and I learned a lot. I learned so much, man. I had full makeup, full gear because it's set back in what, the late 1800s, early 19, or I don't.
Yeah, pretty early.
Remember. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, that was amazing. I spent like 2 weeks on that set. It was crazy. It was
Oh,
so
wow.
many people on that set. They would line up at the end of the night, and they had a binder full of checks. They were just writing out checks to all the actors, and I got cut a check every night. Like it was just, I was like, really? Like just, anyways.
That's awesome, though. That's awesome. Good experience.
I remember sleeping in my car the first night. Because it was like a 4-hour drive from where I lived. I didn't have any money at the time, so I was really determined. I didn't care. I was going to sleep on a park bench. I was going to do whatever it took.
Oh, wow. Definitely got some dedication going on.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, I wanted it bad. And then after that was over with, I decided to get really serious, and I had to come up with a plan because I was like, well, I can't. I'm going to need money to get where I'm going, and I was thinking maybe Vancouver or Toronto would be the best. And so to get money, I decided to go to Alberta to get work in the oil fields. So that was my money plan,
Okay.
which worked out for a while. So yeah, I packed up my car and I drove the whole way across Canada, and
Wow.
got to work in the oil field. And then while I was in Alberta, I got into a theater group here. So I did a play.
Theater's a good way, too, of getting a lot of experience.
Absolutely. I always give that advice to any actor or anyone that wants to start out. If you can do theater, you can do anything, right? Because you don't get a take 2, take 3. You
Yeah,
have to.
exactly. Well, you mess up, you just got to keep going.
Yeah.
It's like, playing live with a band. If you mess up, just fucking keep going. Don't even pay attention to it. Just keep going.
Exactly. I've done that many times, especially playing drunk. But nobody notices, right? If you get used to just improvising or on the fly, and if you're that good and that relaxed in your environment, then
I've definitely
Nobody knows.
experienced that too with some bands that I was in. I'm a drummer, so I've
Oh,
messed
no.
up. It's bound to happen. You're not perfect all the time, so you just got to keep rolling with those punches. So I can relate.
Are you in a band now?
No, not enough time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I hear you. That's another thing with me. That's another reason why. Yeah, because like I said, I was zigzagging, so I was in between acting and the band thing. So I decided to try to get in a band here, but again, time. So I had to make a decision. Okay, what am I doing? I only had so much time, and you can't give 100% to everything because that
Yeah.
math doesn't exist. So yeah, I ended up that's why my guitar hangs on the wall and collects dust now. But yeah, the next thing I did, I did find an agent in Calgary, and I did get on the show Heartland in the background. It's mostly just background work, to be honest. Like I've done a lot of background work. A lot of it isn't. Well, I should say most of it is not on my IMDb because IMDb only lists the major stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because, well, the stuff that you can get credited for. Like, I was on the show Heartland, and it won't show up on IMDb because there's no credits. I don't know
Wow.
why, but yeah. So I was in a few seasons of that. That was a Canadian TV show that's filmed here in Calgary. But again, like I said, a lot of it isn't listed on my IMDb, so I have to go. That's where my resume comes in.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, uh, nothing. What happened after that? Oh, it was after that I went to Vancouver Film School, and that's where I got most of my training. Well, all my training, and then that's where I met my ex. And then
Of
yeah,
course.
fell in love and all that stuff, and then uh, thought we were going to be together forever or whatever. And then yeah, long story short, ended up back here to Alberta and became a full-time single dad of two boys. And then I thought my acting career was over, but I always wanted to get back into acting, and I kept in touch with a lot of my friends, and I decided to do videography.
Okay.
And that's yeah. So yeah, this is kind of important. So when I was doing videography, I was shooting weddings, and I decided to shoot my first music video, which is called Shameless, and that's on IMDb as well. It was by
Okay.
a
Yeah, I
band
think I
called
saw that. I
yeah.
was looking at it
You
briefly.
can tell it's my first big video. It was okay. I look back at it now, and like so many things I could have done differently, but
Well, that's why you got the experience. That way, once you do it the next time, not to do whatever you did before. So there you go,
yeah,
man.
exactly. But I met the teenagers that I used in that video. One of the moms was just going to school for film as well, and she ended up directing and producing a commercial for Save the Turtles, like environmental commercial,
Oh,
and
wow.
she did Luke. That was Lucas's first acting gig. So there's a Save the Turtles commercial out there with Lucas and my other son Rylan,
Oh,
both of them.
wow.
On that set is where we all met Jamie Hill. And
Okay.
Jamie Hill played the mom in that commercial. She plays the mom in Skinnamarink.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how we met Jamie. And so we got talking to Jamie, and that's the second biggest, most important thing is networking.
Yeah.
In the
Oh, yeah.
industry.
I'm in that all day, every day.
Exactly. So set experience and networking, two most important things. So, became friends with Jamie, and then uh basically just I don't know how long after, it was probably just a few months, and that's when she got a hold of me. It was like my friend Kyle Edward Ball
Hmm.
is looking to shoot his first feature film and looking for someone to play the character of a single dad of two kids, and you're probably perfect because you're a single dad of two kids and you're an actor, so give it a try. And I did a I think it was just I think it was pretty much a Zoom call, like a quick audition, talked on the phone for a bit, and then did a quick audition. And he got to see Lucas, and he said, "You're perfect for the part," pretty much. Especially with it's almost eerie how he wrote the mother, and how close some of it was.
Yeah.
Actually, I need to be careful what I say. Um, I'm just going to stop right there.
Okay. No worries at all. Yeah, like this movie. it throws you through a loop a little bit because you don't know where it's going at first. Yeah, you get a lot of angles of the house and a lot of things disappearing. You think you're gonna start learning about this family, which you do, but and not the way you're expecting, and that's what really started throwing me off. Is because we see you very, very quickly, answering the phone, and then we hear your voice right after. The movie's been out for a while, so we can talk about spoilers. It's fine.
Yeah. I just want to say, I'm just going to interject
No, go ahead.
Yeah, because normally with your typical setup, you always have the establishing shot, outside of
Yeah.
the house. You see the house or the building or the establishing shot first, so you know where the story is taking place. And then then it slowly introduces the characters. You know what I mean? There's a
Yeah.
process, but Kyle just says, fuck all that.
Yep. Literally.
Yeah, and he just jumps into like a nightmare sequence.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of theories about this film too. I don't want to get into them because they're so in depth, but a lot of them are really cool. I'm sure you probably have heard some about,
I've heard and read lots. Yeah, some
yeah,
of them are pretty.
there was one that I read that someone sent to me was like, oh, this is all in Kevin's head because he fell down the stairs and everything.
In a coma. I read that online on a YouTube review that, Kevin's in a coma and this whole thing's taking place while he's in a coma.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's pretty fucked up for a 4-year-old to have that imagination. I mean, they have wild imaginations, don't get me wrong, they do. But wow, to, witness your whole family disappear and then meet this thing at the end, and like I'm gonna go ahead.
Killed over and over and over.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That was I don't want to jump around or get too far ahead. I hope I'm not.
No. You're perfect. Like this show, we're always off the rails, so it's completely fine.
Okay. But that part.
Go ahead.
Well, because I know that's usually another question I always get is how I felt and all that stuff, and that was that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Oh, man, yeah, it just bothers me. I can't watch it. I can't. I saw SKINAMARINK. Kyle sent me the temporary link. This was before he released it, before it blew up. I watched it in my home. I was a little tired. It was late at night. I was like, okay. I'm not sure why it didn't really hit me that well. I guess I know why. Because the very first time I watch it, I'm watching it through an actor's, like a filmmaker's point of view. Like I'm looking at him like, because you got to think from filming it to seeing how it all came together. I think in the back of my mind, I had no idea what Kyle was going to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to shoot it this way. I was thinking, okay, where's the establishing shot? Where's you know what I mean? So I was asking all these questions. I was trying to put it together. That's why I didn't get into it the first time. I was literally putting the movie together. I'm like, this is fucked. But no, I didn't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean.
What's going on here? And then, so that was the first time watching it. But I'm really open-minded, and it did bother me a little bit. I'm like, okay, this is pretty crazy. But it took me a while to figure out what he was doing, and then I got it. And then come the premiere, watching it in Edmonton, when at the theater, I had a completely different experience.
Especially being there with everybody too. You get a whole different vibe of everybody's reactions, hearing everybody gasp at things or being like, no. I was saying no a lot in the theater when I was watching this, and I was like, are you kidding me? It was intense.
Oh yeah, I had people swearing and screaming behind me. I was in the front row, and you hit on a good point there. I think the theater experience, that's why it's so much better, because you pick up on other people's energy, and there's a lot of energy in the atmosphere. And so the second time I saw it at the premiere, I was able to, go into it again with an open mind and just immerse myself into it. Sorry. And that took me on a trip, man.
Oh yeah.
Like I was feeling it, and it bothered me. Like I was so clenched. I think my body was just tight.
Yeah, that's how
And I
exactly I was too. That's exactly how I was
Yeah, like
feeling.
I was so uneasy. I think for the first time I don't know, I don't suffer from anxiety or anything like that, but I think I was feeling a little bit of anxiety at one point, and there was a point where I wanted to leave, but yeah, the whole point is, I guess, is that the second time I saw it was a completely different experience, and I totally got it, and it took me on a really bad trip, and I just know that I can't watch it. I can't watch it again. I can't even look at it bothers me to watch the trailer.
The trailer like really gets you on edge. We did a reaction to it, and in the movie, we don't ever hear a voice say "in this house," but that's
Mm,
essentially what the voice is sounding like in the movie. So you hear it in different tones in different areas, saying different things. But what it's saying that, and the loud crackling of like the film and everything that's going on, which adds to the aesthetic and the feel of the film, which I love. I love the whole way that it's shot. I love how it's grainy, how it's loud, how it feels very old timey. I love that. I love that about this, and how it's so dark, and like the microphones are so they're turned up and they're super sensitive. I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that whole aesthetic, and that the trailer does a really good job of you being like, I don't know if I want to go and see this film, and that's what
I
drew
had
me right to it. And I'm like, I
yeah,
need to see this.
I had mixed feelings about the trailer. I don't know. I was like, okay, this is very creepy. I loved it because it was different, but at the same time, I was worried about how it was going to be received.
Yeah,
Not your typical,
yeah,
and
it's
because
so out of the
a lot of us
box.
are used to getting the same blueprint, movie like film every time, forever, and
Yeah.
every once in a while someone comes along and changes it up, and not everybody likes change,
It's
so.
true. It's true. But this is why I love indie films, because they break that mold. They take those chances. Um, Kyle put a lot of work into this, as everybody else did in this film, and I can see it. And you put in so much work that I could only watch this movie twice. I watched it in the theater, and then it took me 2 sessions to get through it when it dropped on Shudder, which I wanted to ask you about that too in a second. But so I saw it in the theater. With a lot of people, the theater was pretty much full. I was right in the middle. The theater was really loud, so I had that experience. And
Mhm.
during the screening, when it gets to the point where Kevin is by himself and he's being told to harm himself,
Oh
and
yeah.
I at that moment I was like, because it was late at night. I think the movie showing was at 8 p.m. and I'm about an hour and a
Same,
half away because the theater I went to, like, to go support in Salem. And
same with me. I had to drive an hour and a half. It was around 8 p.m. Yeah, it was the scene where the entity says, "Put the knife in your eye."
yeah. So that happened, and I had this instant reaction of wanting to get up and drive home and make sure my son was okay. Luckily,
Wow.
he was at home with my girlfriend. They were both sleeping. I have voice messages that I sent to my girlfriend and Dean of being like, this movie's so fucked up, man. Like, I don't, what I just saw, like, I'm shaking right now. I need to go home. I need to make sure my son's okay. And having that feeling, it's an awful thing to feel, but I loved it at the moment because I'm like, there's no movie out there that makes me feel this intense emotion, this tense, like,
Mhm.
feeling of like something is wrong. And I watched the
Yeah,
whole film. I didn't leave.
it
I
hit through
watched
your
the whole
core.
thing. Yep, right
Your core.
there, right there. And I was just like, I don't know. And then we get to the end of the film, which fucked me up even more. Is this the last still frame? There's barely anything there with the face, and Kevin's
Yeah,
asking, "What's your name?" over and over again, and it's just there, blatantly smiling. You can see it right in the back, but it fucked me up, and I had to keep like a light on for a week straight for me to go to bed. I couldn't have any darkness in my house whatsoever.
you're not the only one to say that. I've heard that a lot. I was like, really, it wasn't that bad for me, but it took me probably 4 or 5 days, almost a week, to I don't know. It didn't bother me like I need to keep the lights on or anything like that. It was just it sat with me right in here,
Yeah.
and it was like buried it with me for a good week. It took a while for me to kind of work through it, just to kind of like.
Did you ever have to
Let
run
it
over
go.
to Lucas and be like, "You're here, right?" I would have been like, "Dude,
Yeah,
you need to
well,
get over here."
yeah, Lucas was at the premiere, and him and Rylan ended up running in the theater at one point, and I told them to stay up there because my ex was there to help, look after them, so I could,
Yeah.
be see the film, and they wanted to see it, but I was like, "There's no way you kids are
No.
no." But they ran inside during the premiere for one point, and that 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 messed them up for a while. Even to this day, now they're scared to. I have to go upstairs with them, and I have to make sure all the lights are on.
Is he afraid of night
So,
lights now?
they oh no, they need their nightlight. Their
Yeah, that's
nightlight is
good.
safe, makes them feel safe, and I have to lay down. I'm still. I lay down with Lucas on his I lay down with him until he falls asleep now.
Oh, yeah, I
So,
do that with my son too.
well, he's 8 years old now, so I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
"Dude,
know,
you're
but it's
getting
so like
older, man."
you loved him so much that like I don't want to stop doing this.
I
You
know
know?
I'm conflicted because I'm like, you're getting older. You gotta, I want them to start being more independent, but at the same time, you miss all the little things. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I can ask a little bit about Lucas too. So when this was brought to you and you saw whatever Kyle sent to you to read over, did Lucas know what he was acting in, or were you trying to be as open as possible with him or hide things?
That is a good question. I didn't know this is, our first horror movie and his first
Yeah.
horror movie. And obviously, the ex, his mom was like, what are we getting into? Is it going to be safe? Like, well, but at the same time, we're both actors, and my ex, Allison, she understands too, because um, she knows how it all works. So it
Yeah.
wasn't that bad, I guess. I think we decided not to really tell him too much, because then it would have been just so difficult to explain to him at the time. Yeah, because he was 6 at the time. So I was like, how do I explain to a 6-year-old that you're going to be in a horror movie where there's this thing or something killing everybody?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're going from
that's rough.
watching, you're watching uh Transformers and, I don't know, at the time probably Paw Patrol or Pokemon, and now
Yeah.
you're immersing you in horror. And so we just decided not to get into it. And I just said, "You're going to be in a film, Lucas. It's going to be fun, and it is going to be a scary film." But and then he
It's
was like, "Oh,
safe,
like
yeah.
really?" So so I didn't get into it too much with him. All he knew is that he was going to be in a movie, and that it was going to be fun, and it was going to be a scary movie. But I did. It was, like I said, it was his first horror film, so I didn't know how to go about it. You know what I mean? I just thought that was the best way, and it worked out, because I mean, we just kind of let it unfold one
Yeah.
step at a time as he was doing each scene, and we kind of give him an idea. We tried to make it as light as possible for him and for Dally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dahlia
Dally
Rose.
plays Kaylee. Yeah, Kaylee.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, you said Kylie, so I was like, is it Kylie or Kaylee? I
I
don't
probably
even
said
know.
it wrong.
No, it's fine. But it just got me questioning myself. I think I'm like looking at the poster.
This is the
She
problem when you
does.
watch so many movies too. You get a lot of characters confused, especially on my end.
Yeah, that's fair. That's more than fair. I think Dally because Dally was older, and well, she's a couple years older, so I think she had a better understanding
I mean,
of
she
what.
had like literally her face removed at one point,
Yeah,
which it was probably more in editing. Obviously, I don't think you want to put prosthetics on a girl and like have her fucking whole face gone.
no,
Um,
no, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean by safe, is that they didn't know all the things that were happening to the
yeah,
character. You know
which
what I
I
mean?
think is
Like,
the best
because,
thing to do at that age. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. By the way, Lucas, we're just gonna cut you and
Yeah, we're gonna
remove
put
your
this in your
face.
eye real quick. No.
Yeah, it was it was a completely different experience. I wasn't sure how, like, I had no clue how we were going to do this, but Kyle was very wise, very smart about it. And yeah, it was very cool. Yeah, especially the knife, because there's pictures on my IMDb and my Instagram. I'm on Instagram, by the way.
Oh
Ross
yeah, I think you
Paul.
followed. Did I follow you back? I might have.
Yep.
I gotta double check on that. Oh, I did. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, so for the viewers out there that aren't following me, I am on Instagram, either Ross Paul or Ross's Awesome Sauce.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's awesome. Roll with it, man. It's good. I love it.
Um, what was I going to say? Yeah, there's behind the scenes pictures on my Instagram as well.
Oh, I gotta go dig through those now.
Yeah, there's my scene. You can see them coming. You can see how we filmed it, and yeah, I put a few pictures up there. So anybody that wants to take a peek behind the scenes, you can go to my Instagram or my IMDb. You can IMDb SKINAMARINK and then look under cast and crew, obviously. And then I put some pictures of Lucas saying his lines in the mic, and so there's some really good behind the scenes photos.
Oh
Either
yeah,
there or
I'll link all this stuff too in the bio for the show.
Awesome, I appreciate that. Yeah, so the whole knife part, I just sat back and kind of watched it, but I didn't want to be too close on set because I didn't want to interfere in the process. You know what I mean, or distract him.
Yeah.
I know. So I tried to hang back, but at the same time wanted to know what was going on. So because I wasn't sure, seeing it on script is one thing. Because I know some people think, well, you read the script. Well,
oh, it's always different, man. It's always different.
What's on paper and what's being done in front of you are two completely different things. How you think it's gonna look sometimes, you know what I mean, versus how it's all being set up and everything. Yeah. So there's a picture of Lucas holding an X-Acto blade, but there's no blade in it. I'm pretty sure Kyle, just so everybody knows, he took the blade out, so Lucas didn't have a blade. He has the handle, but so I wasn't sure what was going on with that part. Wasn't sure I was going to do that. So,
wow, I don't know how I would have been on set for that. And the other part that really got me when things started to amp up a lot was when you were in the bedroom with Kaylee, right? Did I say that right this time? I think so. When she's in there and you're saying, "Look under the bed." I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Come on. Like, she does it. And then you say, do it again. And she's like, oh, all right. Yeah, I'll go do it. I'm like, what? Why? No. And it's the funny thing, too, is that I know it's realistic because kids do that. If you tell them to do something, especially if you're a parent or anything like that, if you're older and you ask them to do something silly, they'll go ahead and do it. I don't know if they'll do it twice.
I always look under the beds anyway. Yeah. When I was little, that's the first place I looked was under the bed.
Oh no! And
you didn't like looking under the bed?
No, I don't.
No, okay.
That scene.
I always looked under the bed as a kid. That's the first place I checked. I don't know if it's because my older sisters growing up, they introduced me to these scary movies at a young age. So I always check under the beds.
Hell no. I'm like, leave me alone. I don't check anything. I'll just stay on my bed and just wrap myself up in blankets. That's what I've done ever since I was a kid. Because I used to be deathly afraid of horror movies until I started breaking out of the mold, and now I love them.
Yeah, same. I think it was, so two things. One, I think it was that old movie, I think it was called Monsters with Howie Mandel. And he's a monster under the bed, and it has, what's his name, Fred?
Yeah, you're thinking of oh crap.
Called Little Monsters.
Little Monsters, yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's under the bed. That whole world is under the bed.
Yeah, that's a fun movie.
That's what made me get into look. That's why I knew there was a reason. Ever since that movie, I was like always looking under beds.
Hey, is my friend here? Look under there, and it's just something trying to eat you.
But yeah, SKINAMARINK would make you not want to look under the bed.
Yeah, it's definitely not twice. Not twice. That's so nuts. And how that whole scene was flowing too, how then you'd be gone, and then there's the mother, and then I know this is so minimal too, is when it starts going really off the rails and she's up there still and she starts hearing things and the mother's gone, and that one hand smack on the wall, it's so minimal, but oh my god, does it get me. And it got a lot of people in the theater too, because throughout the whole film so far, it's been, not a lot going on. There's something building, and you know that. Something strange, it's off. The kids are by themselves. They have to go get a bucket to pee and shit in, which is awful to think about too, because the toilet's gone. And then the sister is upstairs, and I'm pretty sure at this point Kevin is sleeping. We would assume that he'd be sleeping, and she's up there by herself because she's being called up there, and they're alone. So I mean, obviously, if they hear a voice, they're gonna be like, "I'm gonna go investigate it. Maybe it's mom, maybe it's dad. Who knows?" And then she gets taken by this entity, and it's so minimal, it's so fast, but that hand and how loud it is too, because the mics are so sensitive. And that's like even the whispering is so loud in this film, and I love that aesthetic.
The part I've read and heard a lot of people being confused about and talked about was whether or not the mother was actually there. Like, where was the mother?
That's what I was thinking too.
So this is just to clear that up. In the beginning of the movie, I'm on the phone with her, so obviously we're not living together.
Yeah, I definitely picked that up.
I read a lot of comments under a lot different reviews, and people were saying, "Was the mother there?" Like, a lot of people were confused with whether the mother was even there or not, and what was going on as far as the characters' relationship. And so, based on the script, we're divorced. She's at her house. She's unwell. Kevin falls down the stairs. I call her to let her know everything's okay, to reassure. So the mother doesn't live with me.
Yeah.
So, and that's my bedroom. And then, so for, that, yeah, spoilers. So the entity is totally, messing with us all.
Yeah.
So the entity brings the mom to my bedroom.
So then, oh wow, this adds so like I was thinking that what you're saying was what was happening and that she wasn't there, and everything, but this just adds a whole nother level to it, because that means that you were taken. But we never see it through your eyes.
I know. It's such a mind fuck.
That's why I love this though. It's so good. It's so good.
It's pretty bad that I didn't even really understand. I kind of understood, but it's been a couple of years now too. So, and I haven't read the script since. I only read it, going into it, and then I just looked at the script the other day, but I might read it again just to. I don't know if I. Yeah, I think I will, just to compare.
Yeah, see what changed.
Yeah,
there's always something that changes from script to screen, always.
Surprised I didn't do that right afterwards. I normally do, but I didn't this time. I guess I just got caught up in everything, because when SKINAMARINK blew up, man, it got crazy. But I'm sure we can get to that. Yeah, that whole scene with looking under the bed, and then me disappearing, and then the mom being there.
It's nuts,
I had to
dude.
do that twice. I had to. That was tricky, because I didn't want to. I'm like, how do I sound like I'm possessed?
Yeah,
How do I be me? Because that's what I remember Kyle saying that. He's like, I want you to still be the dad, but not quite the dad.
Yeah, you're a little off.
He's like, so I want you to still, because the dad has a gentle, demeanor, and but at the same time, I can't remember I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember.
No, you're good.
Trying to remember his direction he gave me. It was pretty good direction. It took me a few takes, and then I finally because I didn't want to go over the top. I didn't want to be like,
Yeah.
I'm a demon. Like,
Yeah. And
I wanted to
also,
be
we never see your face. It's always just by the side if we see
yeah.
it too. So like we never know exactly what you look like. So maybe you are warped. Maybe you are
Oh yeah, I
demon,
never thought of
you know?
that. Um,
That's what I was thinking about that a little bit when second viewing I was watching, because I was thinking about things a little bit more and I could take my time with it since it was on Shutter. I was like, that's interesting. You never see his face.
yeah, I know that's another topic. That's a whole other topic too. My friend, a new friend that I met, Troy Basorin, I think he's in Southern California, close to, sorry, where's LA? LA,
Ellie's on the West Coast.
okay. Um, he's close to, you know what? I don't remember where he's at.
It's all good. It's all good.
I thought he was in LA. Well, because he met Kyle in LA, that's why. Anyway, he's
Okay.
going to be writing, or he already wrote his short film, and I'm going to be in his film coming
Oh,
up or whatever.
awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. And I forgot where I was going with that. It was all connected. Okay, I had a brain fart.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But that actually kind of leads into another question I wanted to ask you too. Is what other things are you doing? Is there things that are happening down the line? I know you're mentioning that you're going to be in a short right now, but is there anything else that's lined up for you and even Lucas?
Uh, we did a whole I knew someone that owned a theater, his own theater in Ontario, and so afterwards we got flown there, and we had a preview there,
Oh, nice.
preview slash premiere there. Uh, I'll just call it a screening,
Yeah.
and we had a meet and greet, and so we had like a pretty much a full house, and it was our first time doing anything like that, which is the little videos. I have those snippets on my Instagram as well, the reels of Lucas and I introducing it, and then the little.
Oh,
I have
nice.
I have the interview broken up into 3 parts, but it's just all him. I haven't released my interview yet. I haven't had time. Um,
That must be
as
so
far,
exciting for him, but I know it's like overwhelming too, especially being so young. But this is awesome for him, and I'm happy for him, getting the spotlight, and even for you too, and finally going down this dream that you had, and it's all coming to fruition.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that very much. I always dreamt of either being a rock star or an actor. Like I always just dreamt
Well,
of
you're
that.
both, man. You're both.
I think so. Oh, shucks. No, I tried to be a rock star for a while. That was fun, what I remember of it. Um, but I wasn't, it definitely hasn't played out the way I thought it was. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was ever going to be uh, a full-time single dad of 2 kids and trying to break into acting again. It's just weird and or crazy how things come along at the times that they do. But as far as opportunities and that, it's definitely put us on the radar, like of a lot of people. It hasn't. It's just been so weird. It's been a roller coaster ride. Like it's been coming in waves.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like the first wave, and I got really overwhelmed at the beginning, and really burnt out. I didn't sleep for the first little while because I was on such a natural high. It was my first time experiencing that kind of a high because my phone was blowing up like mad. Like I was
Yeah.
being tagged and like I couldn't keep up with it. Like I was just like, what?
Yeah, I know
What?
Kyle was also saying that was happening to him too, which I mean, rightfully so. Like this is the first big thing that both of you have really done, and it's bringing a lot of attention, and it's on a big streaming service, Shutter, which gives it so much more. It was in theaters. It's a very low budget indie film, so there's a lot of eyes on it. It's crazy. It really is.
Yeah, it's been surreal. I hate using that word too, because, but anyways, I don't know how else to describe
Yeah.
it. It was a lot. It was a lot. I got really overwhelmed in the first week. Yeah, we all did. Edmund, executive producer, He's been awesome. He's been really cool through most of it. I don't know. He's just like, oh yeah, it's cool. But me and Connor are like, wow. Like, but as far as Lucas, yeah, I was a little worried, especially his mom was concerned because she didn't want it to affect him too much. So, first he missed some school to go to Ontario to meet fans and do all that. But then we're like, okay, we don't want this to affect his schooling.
Yeah.
So we'll just try to dial it back. Because Lucas hasn't had a lot of experience, and if I'm being really honest, he still needs a little bit more training. But I think he has a good memory. I think he is going to make a good little actor. He has a better memory than I do. He memorized his lines quicker than I did.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I did that. I uploaded a screen test I did with him because I had a script come my way. And so we set up a scene and I uploaded it to my YouTube channel. You can find me on YouTube. It's called Ross is Lost.
Okay, I'll definitely look that up after
Yeah,
this.
I won't get into that. I used to put up a lot of weird different videos. But as far as Lucas goes, we decided we want to kind of dial it back for him because it was I didn't want it to go to his head. Yeah, I mean, he's 8 years old, and it was funny at the premiere. He went right up to a couple of people. Hi, I'm in the movie. Would you like pictures?
Oh wow, that's so cute. That's so
Yeah.
cute.
Would you like to take a picture? And he was just saying that around here, and we're like, okay, Lucas, let's dial it back. And so basically, with him, I'm going to. At first, I was thinking, yeah, we'll just do everything. We'll get him in as many movies and try to, what's the words I'm looking for? Do what we can while we can right now. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
thought about it some more and we're like, no, let's wait. SKINAMARINK isn't going anywhere. If anything, more and more people are still discovering it. This is just the start. Because I think my first reaction was, oh no, I have a small window. We gotta capitalize on the success as quickly as possible. So I was freaking out and panicking at first.
Yeah.
But then I talked to some friends and some other people that are in the industry, and they just said, relax, take a deep breath, just think about what you want to do, and one step at a time. So
Yeah, especially for him.
yeah, especially for him. Yeah. So I said, okay, back to school. We're going to focus on school right now. And any spare time that you have, we'll just get you some acting lessons, some more experience, some small things, get you. So basically, that's the plan for him right now is to just get him a little bit more trained up and more experience. And one step at a time, because that was a lot all at once.
Yeah. I want to see him in more horror movies, man. Let's get him in there.
Yeah, you got to watch the little snippets on my Instagram of him introducing it. The crowd, everybody was just like, "Oh!" Like,
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to.
Yeah, he's gonna do he's gonna do fine. As for me, I had to kind of do the same thing. I had to dial it back a bit because I'm trying to juggle a lot.
Yeah.
Trying to be my kids go to their mums every weekend, so that frees up a lot of time. And I'm a bartender as well.
Oh yeah, so you're busy.
Yeah, and I had a lot of different podcasts reach out to me. You know what's funny is I never really listened to a lot of podcasts. I didn't even realize I knew they were big, but I didn't realize how massive podcasts have become.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how fast they're taking over.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's like, and a lot of them aren't even visual. Like it's almost like being on the radio. It's crazy how it's kind of come full circle in that sense.
Yeah.
As far as media goes, how it's almost like it started out with radio and not seeing anybody, and then sorry, my phone's going off. And then visual, and now it's like it's come back now, and everybody's listening to podcasts now, and so it's anyways, I have a lot of opportunities there, but I'm trying to take my time with that. And what else? Sorry, I went on a roll there.
No,
I get excited. Bootleg 317. that's the name of Instagram and YouTube channel. He does a lot of horror movie, like he has his own thing going on. There's skits. I don't know how to explain that. It's funny, it's hilarious. He has a pretty big following on YouTube.
Yeah.
I would like everybody to go check out Bootleg 317. I'll send you the information for that. We can.
Okay, I think I might already be subscribed to that channel, but send it to me anyway, just in case if I'm not, because I follow a lot of people.
Yeah, he does like parodies. Like he did a Lego version of Skinamarink.
Yes, that's what I saw. That's what I saw. Yeah, that was so
Yeah, the
good.
Lego people, and then it's hilarious. He's very talented. I forgot his name already. I think it's because he said to call him Boot. That's a nickname as well, so I'll just call him Boot.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Boot. He's a pretty cool guy. We've been talking a lot. We are gonna do. He calls it a riff skit / riff. Like, so he's gonna riff on Skinamarink. He wanted me to do an episode with him, so I
That's
did.
awesome.
He sent me a script. I already filmed it. I filmed my scenes. I can't say too much more than that. I've got to be careful what I say. So his characters on his show are Allie and Jay, and so basically Allie and Jay.
Yeah, I think everybody could put that together.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Wow.
they speak to Ross. So Allie and Jay wants to meet Ross. So that's all I'm gonna say. And I've sent it off, and now it's in the editing phase. He's got some things to work out because we weren't sure how we were going to do it. You know what I mean, with me being here and the scenes. And then so I think he said he's going to try and release it by June, maybe.
Okay, cool. So that's something to definitely look forward to. I'll put links to that in the description as well for his channel. Wow, you're busy.
Other than that, the only other thing I have right now, because I've been trying to focus on a bunch of other things,
Yeah.
Is a short film by Troy Basorin. He's on my Instagram. He is writing a bunch of projects. The plan is to write a short film. It's called Yuletide, and it's a proof of concept. So we're gonna film that. I think we're either filming in LA or up here. We're not sure yet of the location. I think he has all the actors now that he wanted, and we're going to film that this summer, early summer.
Nice.
And if that works out really well, then he's already got a script for the full feature length.
Wow, awesome,
Yeah,
man.
which is going to be called Decorated Trees.
Okay.
So
Nice.
Yuletide will be the short story version of Decorated Trees. So if everybody, if that takes off really well, then obviously that's going to greenlight Decorated Trees.
Awesome. There's a lot of stuff I gotta look out for now too. But
Yeah.
just keep me updated on things too. So if things come out, just send me a little reminder. Because sometimes things get a little bit lost in the sauce sometimes.
No, it's cool. It's cool, man. This is going to be a very heavy, I'll just say it's just going to be a very heavy film, and you get to see my face.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And I'm really going to have to deliver on this one. That's all I'm going to say is it. I'm so happy. I'm very passionate about acting. I don't really care about the fame and the money. I mean, obviously, who doesn't like fame and money? But
Yeah, passion always rules the game,
yeah, and obviously, I want to provide a better quality of life for my boys and I. So that's what's the word? That's a
You're good. You just want to supply
byproduct.
everything.
It's just a bonus, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
big bonus.
I just can't wait to get back into acting again and really, because I will admit, I was a little rusty. You know what I mean? Because there was a gap where I didn't do anything for a while. So
Yeah.
it took me a while to remember my process or any process. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. So now I'm remembering the process now. The more I start doing projects again and acting again, it's coming
Just gotta
back to me
build the
now.
muscle
I can't
memory.
wait. Exactly. I need to build my acting muscles up again, and so far it's coming along pretty well. And I'm just really excited to get into my next character and see what I can bring to the project, to the story.
Awesome. I'm excited for you, man. That's great. A lot of good things are coming out for everybody in your family, and I'm so stoked to
Thank
have
you.
more things to watch with you in it. And eventually, if Lucas ever goes and acts in other things, I'm so for it. And keep me updated, and I'll make sure to let everybody know who's listening as well to check all these things out once the time comes.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, like Luke, for Lucas, I just wanted him to, because it was kind of getting to his head. Like he didn't want to go to school.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
didn't want to go back to
I'm
school.
famous, Dad. Leave me alone.
I, Dude, you're 8 years old. You're not quitting school.
Yeah,
Like,
you got to get your education.
and we're not that big. Like, we're not super movie stars. Like, we are. Like, we're he was definitely. Well, I mean, he's on a poster, and that poster's been all over Europe and South America. We were in Rolling Stones in South America,
Yeah,
and
I think I saw someone posting about that on Twitter, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
yeah, that is crazy. Uh, yeah, South America, Brazil. That was it. Brazilian Rolling Stone. It was
Yeah.
just crazy to see his picture and his face like all over the world. It was a lot. So I'm just trying to keep him grounded. And the plan is for this summer when school's out, we're going to focus 100% on acting.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm so excited. Oh, Ross, this was really, really fun, getting to know you a little bit more and getting to know a little bit behind the scenes and talking about Lucas and his experiences and everything. This is really fun, and you're now a friend of the show, and I can call you a friend. You're great. Uh,
Absolutely.
Definitely want to get Kyle on here at some point, but no, he's a little bit, he's on the back burner right now because he's trying to, relax, which he definitely deserves, relax as much as possible.
I think he's writing right now, actually. He said
Oh,
because
yes.
he's trying to get going on his next feature film. And that's obviously, yeah, he's had time to kind of breathe now a little bit. But at the same time, I remember him saying at the after party, he didn't want to wait till summer to write because he didn't want to be stuck inside. So his goal was to try to have something. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that because then that would put the pressure on.
No, I don't
But I
think
didn't know
so.
that that was his goal, was to try to have something written or at least started by, late spring or whatever. So hopefully he'll have. And he did. I did. Obviously, I had to mention. I didn't want to bug him because he's had obviously his. He's on a completely different level.
Yeah.
Yeah, but him and I still talk. He's an awesome dude. He's still. I think he's still fairly grounded, and he's still very caring and genuine. So he's accessible in that way. Um, I did mention. I asked him, and I was like, "So, have any idea as to how the auditioning process is going to go for your next film?"
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and he just said, "You know what? If there's a part for you, I'll cast you in a heartbeat."
Oh, wow.
So,
That's awesome.
and I, well, yeah, and I said, "Yeah, absolutely. I understand the process. You can't go into writing something with, uh, you know what I mean, with the
Yeah, with
idea of
someone in
not
mind, you want to
even
kind of
have,
keep things
yeah, yeah.
open.
The best way to write something is with a complete
Yeah.
blank slate, no one in mind, nothing. You don't want that to, well, anybody that knows anything about writing, you want anything to, what's the word, influence you
Yeah, influence it. Yeah.
in the wrong way. Like you want to draw from different influences. Anyways, I hope I answered all your questions. Is there anything we left out or?
No, you pretty much covered everything, and I just really wanted to know how it all felt with you watching it, and you went over that very well, and how it affected you, and we kind of shared the same thing. Obviously, it's completely different because you were in the movie and it was your actual son, but just knowing there was somebody else out there that was feeling the same gut feeling I was when you're seeing a little kid get tormented over and over and over again.
That was the worst scene. That was the worst part, man. That
Yeah.
was. I've been only asked that once, and now I see it, like the blood, and I was just like,
And then hearing mommy, like that's what got me too. Like, oh, you shouldn't have said anything. It's so
I
bad.
I'm not gonna lie, like it's I can't even. Oh man, now I'm getting. It's hard
You're
for me to
reliving it.
talk about.
No, dial it back.
Yeah, it's hard for me. I'm still learning that process too. Because when you take on a character in a role, you obviously I connect with it, and now I have to let it go. So I'm still working on the letting go part. So when I think of that scene and everything, some stuff still comes up. So,
Yeah.
whew.
Yeah, it's heavy
Yeah,
stuff,
it
but
was a really heavy. It was really heavy. That's all I'm gonna say. And I just can't. I was really shocked at how much it affected me and still does. So yeah, I still have a bit to learn.
yeah, I mean, that's what makes the movie so good too, is that it's still
Yeah,
affecting you and you acted in it. So I mean, that's just a testament of, Kyle's writing and his vision for how he wanted things to
he's a
look.
genius. I think he's a genius. I think he's probably. I would look at him as a prodigy.
Yeah, no,
And
I agree in that too. I love how he's bringing some really fresh and obscure takes on things, and kind of breathing new life into the horror genre and anything else that he goes and touches. So I'm excited to see what he has next.
yeah,
Super
I think
excited.
you said it like break. I think you said breaking the mold, so to
Yeah,
speak, and pushing the envelope as
yeah,
well.
yeah. It's all happening, and indie horror is the future of horror right now. And thank you for being part of something that scared the hell out of me. Like, I really do mean that. Like, thank you. That's not like a bad thing. It's a good thing, for being part of something that lives with me every day still. And I want to go and watch it. I do. The thing is, like, I want to watch this film again, but I'm like, I don't want to come out on the other end and feeling like I can't sleep again. Even though I know what happens and I've seen everything, but it still gets me. Still gets me.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate your support and thank you for having me on the show. It's been really nice meeting you. That's the that's the biggest bonus to this whole experience. Like I put that in the post because I wanted everybody to know how grateful I am for everyone that's reached out and that I get to meet and talk to so many new interesting, caring, awesome like people, creative people, especially like-minded.
Yeah,
Uh yeah, I love it. I love meeting new people. So
me too.
and yeah, always making new friends is important, especially in the industry. But yeah, it's been a great experience. Thank you, and I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you for coming on, and I hope everybody enjoyed the show. This was a fun one. I know we were talking for a while, and it finally landed. We got it going, and this was super fun. And but I'd love to have you on again to talk about anything else that comes up when it comes up and it comes out. If you want to come on, promote anything, or if there's anything you want me to say during a show or anything like that, feel free to reach out because you are now a friend of the show, and I'm so happy to
Thank you.
have had this opportunity to talk to you and get to know a little bit more about you and the film. So thank you so much, Ross. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I will write down. I did write down some of your information, but I'll write down more.
Yeah, if you need
I'm
anything else
getting
too, just
organized. I have everybody's info, so I don't uh, forget anybody along the way. I never forget a face. I might forget a name, but I'll never forget a face.
Hell yeah. All right, Ross. Thank you so much for being here, man. And we'll let everybody off the hook now. And if you haven't seen SKINAMARINK, go watch it right now. It's on Shudder. It will give you nightmares, I promise. So thank you guys so much, and thank you, Ross, again for being here, man.
Thank you. Cheers.